From the East Coast to the West Coast, we are everywhere true crime is. We are asking for the public's help. We are searching in the woods. We are doing what it takes here on the Bullhorn Betty channels to find answers to the most alarming cases we have been watching on the news. I can tell you personally that I have traveled this entire country seeking these answers and bringing that content right here to you here on the Bullhorn Betty channels and Bullhorn Betty Crime Stories. We are happy with the work that we've done. We've brought many answers to the public, and we have defied mainstream media in our pursuit of the truth in these cases. We will continue to work. We will continue to fight for these victims, and we will continue to tell their stories here on my channels. Welcome to the Bullhorn Betty brand of channels and the Coffee Club. Thank you for your love. Thank you for your support. And more importantly, thank you for allowing me to bring these victims' stories to each and every one of you, advocating for each of these victims. God bless you. God bless America. And more importantly, God bless our victims. Well, what is up, my beautiful people out there in YouTube and X world? It is nice to see you this evening. Our beautiful Pebbles, the first to say hey. It's nice to see everybody. Sonia, Pebbles, Bookworm, it's nice to see you, hun. I just pushed my thing all the way up and now I can't see anybody. Oops. Seriously innocent, aren't we all? Nice to see you, Jazzy, MJ, Blessed Mama, Jess, Dylan, it's nice to see you, Darlene, KB, or Kathy B, it's nice to see you, Redmilla, it's nice to have you. Good evening, Angel, it's nice to see you, my love. Jody, good evening. Ooh, look who we have. I'm a little starstruck. We got some Pin Tin Tin up in the house. Well, hello, my love. Hello. It's nice to see you. Just Deb is in the house. It's nice to see you, babe. I saw you this morning, too. Don't think I got my eye on you. Angie, it's nice to see you. Tippy Toe, I Spy up in the house. Sadie X, it's nice to see you. Who else do we have? Pebbles reminding everybody, don't forget to hit that like button. Stacy, Jody, it's nice to see you. Kathy, is it Taryn? Oh, I like how you spell that. It's nice to see you as well. Peas in a pod. Well, hello. Nice to see you. Nice to see you. So, guys, we're just going to go ahead and jump right in. So, the topic of this conversation, I'm going to play two videos for you. One's going to be a little bit longer, and one's going to be a little bit shorter. And I want you to pay attention to the behavior, not necessarily the words. We want to listen to the words too. We want to listen to the words. For those that are just coming in, we are covering the case of Sebastian Rogers. He is a 15-year-old boy. He's an autistic boy, high-functioning autistic boy that disappeared from his home February 26th, according to his parents. Well, you know, we've been saying for a little minute now that we feel there's something stinking to high heavens with the Proudfoots. Now, we've listened to the behavior panel. We've listened to all the talking heads. We listened to the Duty Rons. We listened to all of the people in the mix. Right? A lot of people. Saying these parents are demonstrating the kinds of behaviors they want, that they need in an innocent person. We're saying, I don't know who you looking at. I have no clue who you looking at. But the people you're looking at and the people that we here over in the true crime community are looking at, we got problems, okay? I don't know about you, but we got problems over here. There's problems in the neighborhood, right? Why is that? Because we felt that the parents were hiding something. We felt that early on. We were, you know, of course, social media gets blamed for every horrible thing that happens in the world anymore. So naturally, we're like, okay, well, we'll just keep talking till they catch up. Well, it sounds like a lot of them are starting to catch up. or at least be, known, because a lot of them are relying on what the law enforcement say. We don't look at we don't listen to what comes out of here. We look at what comes out of here, right? We're looking at their behaviors. So I want you to look at the sheriff's behavior in this very, very recent, I think day 1 or day 2 of the ground search. I think it's very important that you see his demeanor and his behavior and how he speaks and just how he's a little loose. He's happy to share information. He's happy to tell you everything you need to know. This is going to be the longer one. Then we're going to go over to the much shorter one, okay? And I want you guys to check this out.
The best thing the public can do to help us is keep sharing it on social media. If you see something, say something. Call the Sumner County Emergency Communications Center at 615-451-3838 and check your home surveillance video. Just check. If you see something, call us. We'll come out and look. I think that's going to be what breaks the case is somebody's home surveillance video seeing something.
And at what point are people going to
They absolutely are. Sumner County is the greatest place on earth. I truly believe that. We have the absolute greatest citizens here, but we also have the best law enforcement relationships in the county. We've got people from across the state here, the TBI, Cincinnati Highway Patrol, Hendersonville, Gallatin sent people. We have plenty of first responders. So my urge to the public right now would be to check your home videos and stay rested, because when the call comes, we'll put it out on social media, and that's when we'll need you to come.
And then, did you want to speak as well? Okay, I'm going to get you back.
In the meantime, is when you approach this search, is it different looking for a child than an adult?
It's definitely different looking for a child with autism. Yesterday we consulted with someone in the first responder world who does emergency management, who also has children who are autistic, and she kind of laid it out for us, some things that I didn't understand or comprehend at first. She gave us a lot of tips and tricks, so we've had several calls from people with autistic relatives that have told us, hey, have you thought about this? And listen, there's nothing off the table. I don't care how crazy it sounds. If it's going to help me find Sebastian, get him home safe to his family, I'm going to do it.
And what are some of those considerations that go into looking for a child with autism?
Some of the things that he likes, what he's familiar with. We know that Sebastian likes cats. We were told that his favorite song was Eye of the Tiger. We've tried playing that to just kind of calm him and let him know we're here to help him. I'm sure that he could see what's going on here and be intimidated, but if he sees this newscast, I want him to know, Sebastian, come out. We're here to help you. We just want to get you home safe.
And at this point, have you guys ruled out any indication of foul play?
I won't say that we've ruled out any indication of foul play, but I will say that the family has been nothing but cooperative with us. Nothing but cooperative. There's no indication of foul play at the moment.
How have those...
Okay. No indication of foul play at the moment. You guys see his demeanor. He's upbeat. He's positive. He's looking for Sebastian Rogers. They know they're going to find him. They're consulting with all the people that can benefit, this search effort, that knows about autism, that knows about best practices with autism and lost autistic people. So they're really kind of honing in on his disability in preparation of these searches and what have you. So you see a very confident sheriff here that is just wanting to bring Sebastian home and to bring Sebastian home alive. Where is I think it's this one. Now I want you to look at the sheriff. I can't remember his name for the life of me. I want you to listen to his demeanor in this one, okay? And I want you to see the difference. Now this one was just from 2 weeks ago.
Eric Craddock is chief deputy with the Sumner County Sheriff's Office and heads up the investigation. He sat down for an exclusive one-on-one to talk about what they do when there are few new leads.
I think in the absence of information, what we'll continue to do.
So I want you to, when he starts honing in on questions, I want you to see the behavior of this sheriff.
Is go back over everything we've already done once, put a fresh set of eyes on it.
To that end, Craddock says searchers recently found a pair of glasses, which they are checking to see if they belong to Sebastian.
Which they don't.
He says the parents continue to fully cooperate. Any evidence of foul play?
We have not cleared anyone But we have absolutely no evidence to support foul play.
I asked about exclusive home security.
Not they've been absolutely 100% cooperative, and his heart was going out to them. Much different demeanor here. He's basically saying we don't have anything yet. His demeanor has changed toward the parents, not justifying, not coming to their defense like he was in that first video. Let's keep going.
Video obtained from the neighborhood the night Sebastian disappeared. You can see two suspicious light sources, which we've circled here, in an area behind the teen's home. Since we first aired the video last month, authorities have said no evidentiary value.
It is of no evidentiary value.
Can you tell me what those lights are?
No,
Why?
because the investigation remains ongoing.
And so it could play a role down the road depending on developments?
We don't know what we don't know. So yes, it could play a role.
So many are
So much different demeanor, in my opinion, from when we started this whole entire journey. We had a sheriff that was welcoming of information. Let's finish that little segment up real quick. Let me go back to it real quick. There's a little more. I want you to hear his heartfelt agony for the Proudfoots. Let's finish it up with that. Many at the very beginning of this, and you just saw his behavior just now. So let's get back to that.
Span of people coming in and then offering up any information you guys have had any leads or any information you can share with that.
We've had several tips. One of the tips was that he was sighted off of Newman's Trail off Long Hollow Pike. We actually, when we got that tip, we sent a team out. We made contact with who they thought was Sebastian, and it was not. Again, that's a great tip.
They thought it was Sebastian, because this is where we kind of accidentally recirculate information that we've already discussed. The person that's been walking all these sightings of Sebastian we're now hearing about early on in the case, because now the audios of all this is being released. They're going back to these things. They've already been cleared. So thank you, Turtle Gang. I love your face too. I love your face too.
It could have been. So if somebody sees something, call us. Let us know.
And do you guys know, I know you guys were checking shoes last night to see if he was barefoot. Is that still the case? Is he barefoot? Because I know on Facebook somebody posted a picture of these could be his shoes, or is that so he is supposed to be barefoot?
What I can say is that his mom says all of his shoes are accounted for at the house.
Okay, so now we're getting down to the shoes. I wanted to talk to you guys about, before we open up, do I have one more? I think I might have one more thing. No, I think that's it. I do have a couple other things, but we'll get to those once we open up the phone lines and we start talking about stuff. But the one thing that I have to say about whether or not Sebastian Rogers came home. A lot of people believe a lot of different things, but there is a large group of people that truly believe that Sebastian Rogers never made it back to the house. I disagree with that for several reasons, and here's the reasonings that I have. It still may not make sense to you. I'm not getting you guys off the fence of your own opinion. You got to make the facts up that resonate with you and what you believe. But for me, there's a few things that I remember. One is we have corroborated from the neighbor that law enforcement does have video surveillance. This was done this is before this turned into what it is today. This was back when when everybody truly thought Sebastian was missing. And the neighbor, when the law enforcement came to pick up their surveillance photo, they were talking with this lady and her husband and had acknowledged having a videotape of Sebastian taking out the trash, which had to have been the one person across the street. So that came from the law enforcement. So I believe there is an audio tape of that conversation somewhere, because I remember hearing something with law enforcement in the background. So there is that. And then the other thing is his shoes. His shoes are all accounted for. If his shoes are at home, it would imply that he made it home, because if he had never made it home, nobody would think to take off the shoes. So those are the reasons why I do believe it kind of solidifies in my mind, maybe not yours, but at least in my mind, that I feel strong enough that he did make it back home before whatever happened to him happened. The one problem I have, and I didn't even think of it until Jennifer Coffindaffer. You guys know who Jennifer Coffindaffer is. She's a retired FBI agent. She trained people, trained FBI agents, and she's really a good source of information, especially, she doesn't really tell a whole lot of FBI techniques, but she has her experiences. And so not that every single one of her experiences are hold water, because their experiences from another case or something like that, and that particular case went this way, and each case kind of goes their own way sometimes, and while one thing may true, even though it's true, may not apply in this case and be completely opposite of what her analysis is. So it does happen, but she's still a great resource for information, period. And her experience, I love hearing her experience. I don't take stock 100% and 100%. We're all human. We all make mistakes, and statistics are just that. They're statistics. They're based upon the law of large numbers. They're percentages. There's still a segment, a smaller percentage of other options. So I know that. But one of the things that she had stated in this live, she's now on YouTube. She has a following. She's growing her following. I hope everybody goes over there and subs it up. I can't remember what the name of her channel is. Hold on one second. Let me go and I'll throw her in the chat. Give me just a second. Maybe we'll listen to a little bit. But I found it very interesting. But she talks, when she went through all of this, she actually talked, here we go. Let me go into hers. She actually talked and hit on a lot of the stuff that we've been talking about, all the stuff that concerns us about this case. She really did go and hit on those. And this was in her latest live, and the live is labeled Sebastian Rogers, more concerned than ever. The one thing I don't like is, once again, without really looking into the Uvalde Foundation, she's talking about how they got into the search. I don't know. Here's the video right here. I hope you guys go watch it. But she said a bunch of stuff, and one of the things that I think we all kind of agree with is these shoes. These shoes are an issue. For more than just whether he came home that night. I think the shoes are a great indicator that he didn't willingly walk out of the home. I think the shoes hold more value than many people are giving the shoes credit for. Because we have learned from everybody, from his mother, his stepfather, and his biological father. The kid did not like going out of the house without shoes. Period. So what makes us think this autistic kid just is no longer autistic this one evening? Right? It doesn't make sense. I think the shoes tell us that he came home that night, and I think the shoes tell us that he did not leave that house willingly. I think those are what the shoes tell us. But Jennifer Coffindaffer, this whole Sebastian Rogers live stream she did about 9 hours ago, I really recommend everybody going and watching it, leaving her a comment, telling her perspective. But for the time being, right now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to open up the phones. I'm going to continue talking. But if you guys would like to call in for any reason, if you'd like to express what you think is going on, if you don't think Chris and Katie are innocent, are guilty, why? Why? What would make you come to that? And please don't come here and just, if you're gonna be for or against them, just don't come here with not. You could say it's because I feel that way, if you truly just feel that way. But if you have a reason you feel that way, express that reason into words, because I think you'll find out that a lot of people may share or express some of your reasonings. I find people on here all the time that are for or against, but most people they have their own reasoning for that. Can everybody hear the phone ringing? This is Betty. Hello?
Hi, Betty.
Hi,
This
who's
is
this?
Glenda from.
Glenda?
I'm Glenda, and I'm from Michigan.
Well, hi, Glenda. How are you doing this evening?
Well, I'm doing pretty good, Betty. I wanted to give you my theory, and I want to tell you that I've reached out to 3 men on YouTube. That's the theory, but because they have their own, they're very not looking at my opinion seriously.
Okay. Well,
But
what's your opinion on this? And let's see what you
okay.
have.
Okay, first of all, marriage is in trouble. I believe marriage is in trouble because of because of Sebastian.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know why. Maybe it was a little abuse. Maybe because he is older. He's not 7, 8 years old anymore, and he's standing up. Okay, so I also think that Nina is the ex-wife is very much involved in this because I think that she knows that they've been after her child for 7 years. And I think that Chris's mom has been so adamant about having this grandchild. And you have to remember, custody battles get very nasty. Look, we just saw that in Oklahoma.
Mm-hmm.
But I think that it went down. I believe that Chris's mom has been after him about him having Sebastian, not having his own grandchild. And this has been a contentious between him and Katie. And I believe that Sebastian did not come home from that restaurant. He just got new meds. I believe she took him out for the day along the way, and food or drink. She's giving him extra meds. By the time she got him in the car, he was tired. I believe she met Chris. You have to remember that Chris's mom is a realtor, and they have money, so I'm sure that they own other properties. Maybe they own property between Hendersonville and Memphis or somewhere in that area. It's very secluded down there. You've been on those country roads.
Mm-hmm.
I grew up in Knoxville, so I know too. But anyway, I believe that he has handed that child off to somebody. I think that that's what Katie agreed to. I don't believe the child is dead. I don't think she would have went that far.
But I guess my question always comes back to Seth was about to take him. So if they didn't want him in their life, why would they go through all of this?
Okay, because maybe there was abuse. And you know something? I was abused when I was a child. So I know that some things you never tell people. You get threatened as a child for telling. So I know that kids hold that stuff. And maybe that was the problem. But I also
the abuse with who? With Chris and Katie, or with Seth?
I believe with Seth, not Seth. I believe
okay,
it was
so from the
Chris
house.
and Katie.
Okay,
Chris
so from
and
the
Katie.
house, yeah. Okay, gotcha.
Yeah. Okay, now this is what I believe too. I believe that Chris's mom, or one of the relatives, because all the whole family is involved, I believe that they had planned this. They planned this trip to Alaska, and this is why. His mom drove to Memphis, parked someplace. If you notice where they're parked, they were on the road. There's a big gap in there so you can come out with your trailers.
Mm-hmm.
He walked out. He took her car. He goes and meets Katie and gets Sebastian. Sebastian's kind of drowsy and drugged up. I believe whenever he got him, Dory was taking him, that Sebastian realized that he was with Chris and that he fought him because he didn't realize where he was at. I also believe that his mom was on the phone to Katie covering for him, and that would explain the problem. Now, the shoes, because I believe when they put him in whatever vehicle they took him in, they took off his shoes because they knew that if he ran, Chris could take him down.
Well, it's
and
definitely...
the grandparents left and went to Alaska. I believe that was to keep them out of the spotlight, so that media's not after them, asking them questions, digging into what's going on with them.
Yeah, and I do appreciate your comments, but I mean I kind of it's a lot. It's a lot to unpack.
It is a lot to unpack, but at the
think
same time, no one is looking into those parents.
I can
No
guarantee.
one's looking
They're getting
no
looked
one's
into
looking
very well. I can guarantee everybody. I mean, I can tell you
And no,
social media.
not to Chris and Katie, but to Chris's mom and her husband.
Oh no, they're looking into them. I mean, they're tearing they're going through. I mean, they're sleuthing through the whole entire family's entire life.
Good deal. Good deal. Well, that was just my theory. I've been trying to cover the phone call and the shoes. That's what bothered me the most.
Gotcha.
And I believe the shoes were taken off so he wouldn't run.
That's a good theory. I mean, that is, we didn't look at that angle of it. We're looking at him.
Well, if somebody's on the phone to Katie in the trailer, then that would cover the 3-hour phone call, right?
Mm-hmm.
He was trooped there and back and dropping off stuff.
No,
somewhere.
it'd be just one way. It'd be the 3.5 would cover one way, not back there and back. There and back is about 7 hours.
But he would still have time to. I mean, at 7:00, he could have been there at 7:00 to get him. He would still have time to take him someplace. And
there's plenty of time because
make it back.
Yeah.
And make it back inside. Yeah.
Well, I appreciate you calling.
Theory.
Thank you.
Well, thank you very much for listening to me, and I hope I'm right that he's out there and somebody else has got him, and I hope it's not doing him any harm.
Right.
I don't think that they wanted any harm to come to him, but I think they gave him away to somebody.
I wish I had that same belief, but my belief is I believe Chris Proudfoot was at home. I think he snapped, and I think he killed the kid. That's exactly what I think happened, and I think Kitty Proudfoot helped clean it up.
Well, you think somewhere in that town that there would be a picture of him someplace coming after him or being at home?
Yep.
Yeah, I can't make that make sense that they don't have nothing of him being in that house.
Well,
all right, well, you have a great one, and thank you for listening to me.
No problem. God bless you. Bye-bye.
God bless you. You're a great boots on the ground investigator. You keep going.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
This is Betty.
Hi, Betty.
Yes. Hey, how are you doing? Who's this? Where are you calling from?
Hi, I'm Hot Mess Equines in your chat. I'm calling from Virginia Beach, Virginia, and I can't believe I actually got through.
You did.
My first time calling.
Virginia Beach. I bet you have beautiful sunrises or sunsets.
We do. We have beautiful sunrises and sunsets. I'm on a 43-acre farm,
Nice.
so we're real fortunate. But, I can't believe I got through, so I'm a little bit befuddled here. So the reason why I'm calling is because I have a theory that I haven't heard anyone talk about yet.
Well, we're ready to hear your theory. What do you think happened?
I think that Katie snapped. I think that the full day was just a full busy day. And I think it overstimulated Sebastian. And I suspect something occurred in the evening. And I almost wonder, because of the custody battle that they were having with Faith, I think that Sebastian may have, gotten smart mouth and said, well, I'm going to tell these things.
Mm-hmm.
And Katie snapped to protect her husband, which is a sad thing, and then panicked and thought she did something that made him no longer alive, and he wasn't really fully gone.
Gotcha. And to be honest with you, I've got a mod that has a similar perspective. Pebbles, she's in the chat right now. She has a similar perspective. She just feels that it was Katie, and Katie snapped. That's 100%. And I'm on the fence because I think one of them snapped, but I don't know which.
Right.
But I just think it's Chris.
Right. I don't think Chris had time to get back from where he was. So my additional theory is that his mom or sister.
Hello? Hello?
It would not
there
surprise
you are.
me.
You paused right at mom and sister, and you went blank for a second. So what did you say?
Yeah, I think that Chris didn't have time to get back, and the 3-hour phone call is Katie panicking. What do I do? And so mom and sister met Katie somewhere in that 45-minute window where she was missing, driving around, quote unquote, looking for him, and then took Sebastian from there. Now, to get real big conspiracy theory on that, I think the trip to Alaska already was planned, and they, that was just a thing that was already in motion. And what if they dropped him off somewhere on the way out of town?
It's possible.
He could be anywhere between here and, wherever they stopped driving and got on a plane.
And isn't it funny that you just said he could be anywhere? You know who you just reminded me of?
Yes, I do.
Yep. Just saying.
Yep. And then Katie also keeps saying that Sebastian left. We don't know why he left. So she is been continuously, not ever has there been an indication of someone took him, right? He left, right? And that could also, I think that, criminals make mistakes, right? You never get a perfect crime. So I think they forgot his shoes.
I do too. And not only that, but you know what? A lot of the talking heads, the professionals, keep saying that because they said that he left so many times that they believe that they must have physically seen him leave. And I'm thinking, I bet they did probably physically see him leave out a door.
Right. So it's just enough truth for her to pass a lie detector as well.
I don't think until I see the results, I don't believe none of them. I'm sorry,
I don't. I don't either. But that's what's been put out there, so I'll accept what I'm, fed right there in that, piece of the puzzle.
I even said if Chris takes a polygraph and he passes, I'm going to be saying he did countermeasures. I'm telling you, I'm biased.
Yeah, well, he's a complete narcissist. I think Katie is worse, to be brutal. She is not a shrieking violet. I think that she, is not in I'm an abused woman. She's married to a narcissist, and I think she knows it. So the only reason, in my opinion, why he hasn't thrown her under the bus yet, which I believe will happen, he'll protect Mama before he protects wife number 5. And so he is protecting his own ass because he has knowledge, and his family was actually accomplices, or you know what I mean? So that's why he's not going, well, Katie did it. But it's coming. He's going to throw her under the bus. And I don't think she'll crack. Also, she's got MMA training. She does have years in the military.
We were hearing that the resume that was going around with the MMA training was not that of hers.
Oh, okay.
That's what I heard about this, this, amazing resume she had. And then I had brought it up, and I even said, I haven't seen it personally. And so somebody had wrote me back and said, no, we looked into it and it wasn't the same person. Now, again, I haven't looked at any of it at all, so I don't know personally one way or another, but I've heard both that it does exist, but it wasn't hers.
Well, okay, so if we remove that component, still Sebastian had a medical issue or a physical issue that he couldn't get head trauma. Like, that could be very devastating if he did have some sort of, concussion or something like that. So it wouldn't have taken much for her to overreact to him and cause a head injury. And then she thinks, I've unalived him. I panic. We can't have this because, first of all, I don't want to admit to it. And then we're in the middle of this, child services and custody battle. So call Mama. Mama solves all the problems, right, for Chris.
Right.
So I think it was a group involvement. Yeah, right. I know. I love your channel. I just found you, and I really like the stuff you're the information you're supplying to us, because it's so convoluted.
It is.
But there is no way, even the worst mothers in the world that I've ever encountered, or everyone you talk to, and it's like, you don't, first of all, not search for your child, and second of all, you don't leave the house.
I don't know of any. You know what? I still have not come across it. Only the guilty parents, only the ones that
Right.
turn out to be suspect. I have never known a parent that is missing a child not to go out and search for the child. Like, I've watched
Right.
parents that are freaking fried on drugs and alcohol, that their child
Right.
didn't come home and out there looking and knocking on doors.
Yes. No, and then the apology tour that they went on through social media, is just so glaringly guilty, in my opinion. That, and it's scripted. Every time you see them speak, it is the same verbiage and phraseology over
Oh, except
and
the
over
updates.
again.
Don't forget the inconsistencies that they have to fix whenever they realize
Right.
they got caught in lies. They got to fix those in those interviews as well.
Yeah, and to viciously go after Seth in the Facebook post also, I thought was very telling. Katie's a viper. She's but it was never about her missing child either. It was just so vicious, and I don't think that she was going to allow Seth to have him also. That's another part of the puzzle that I just think is extremely odd. She didn't. I think she wanted to live just like she's been living, having picnics at the RV with the hubby. She comes back looking tan and thin and like she's been in a spa. Your kid's missing.
Yeah.
You should look like hell.
Well, and our first clue was when they couldn't go out searching for their son, but yet they have time to go to a barbecue joint to eat barbecue. So that was that right there. That pushed me over the edge with them. That's when they went from, being, me just not understanding the situation to be full-fledged. But I wanted to tell you, thank you so much for calling. I've got an out of the country caller calling in, and I want to grab it.
Yes. Okay. Thanks. Bye.
God bless. This is Betty. How can I help you? Hello, this is Betty.
Hello.
It sounds like you're calling from a really far place away. I wanted to make sure I answered your phone. This is Betty, Bullhorn Betty channel.
Yeah, I'm calling from the UK.
Well, it's so great to have you.
I'm just trying to turn. That's better.
There you go.
I'm trying to pause it. Yes, I've been following this story from the very beginning. I'm actually in the UK. So, my opinion, the parents, Chris and Katie, they're 100% guilty of something. 100%. I mean, you can't, I don't think you could, I don't see how anyone would be seeing it any different, to be honest.
If this was your child, would you be sitting at home?
No. I have a daughter who's 16. She has autism. And my empathy for her is so much more because she has a lot more struggles. And also, if this was to happen here where I'm living, the parents would be arrested and they wouldn't be allowed free until they said what happened. Because, I mean, you don't just lose, a child doesn't just disappear. It doesn't happen. It just doesn't happen.
Right.
It can't happen.
What do you think about the shoes? The shoes that are there, do you have any opinion on the shoes?
I find it quite strange that she said that, to be honest. It's something that she noticed, and maybe I guess you would look to see if their shoes were there. But in all honesty, there would have been a sense if he had left barefoot. There would have been, surely. And have they even checked their house? Because I've never heard that their house has been searched.
Well, the house has been, I call it a surface search. What I mean by a surface search is they may have some type of dog go in there or something like that. But I mean, as far as deep forensic searching, it doesn't sound like that's been done inside the house or inside any vehicle or any item that they own personally. I don't think that's
that's madness. And you wouldn't pack up and leave if your child's missing. Your heart wouldn't be able to do that, surely. They can't. And that's the biggest red flag for me.
Mm-hmm.
That's the biggest red flag, and that's what I don't get, why they're not being investigated because of that. And just something's not quite right with. I mean, we call it the police round here.
Right.
I'm actually from a little tiny village in Somerset, England, and if I'm honest, there's not really any crime here.
Well, that's nice. I wish. Oh no! I think. Oh, her phone call ended. I'm sorry. Well, thank you so much. It just dropped. It just dropped. I'm so sorry about that. But I do want to thank you, whoever that was from the UK. Thank you so very much for calling in. That was really good. I did have a couple of questions, but I didn't get to ask them, so maybe next time. Thank you so much. This is Betty. Hello, this is Betty.
Betty, hi.
Hi.
How are you?
I'm doing well. Who's this and where are you calling from?
It's Kitty from Arizona.
Well, it's nice to hear from you, Katie from Arizona. What do you have to say about the whole Sebastian Rogers case? What do you believe is going on here?
A lot, my dear. I've been following this case since the beginning. I have read every chat room. I have followed every YouTuber person. And there's just a lot of stuff that does not make sense. But I have a question. Did anybody look into her supposed boyfriend? Now, that wouldn't just come out of the blue. She has a boyfriend, and this guy moved from California to Tennessee, and he actually only lives a mile from her. Now, there were some investigations by the neighbors in the area, and this guy's a pedophile. But he's friends with Sebastian.
No, this is the issue I have with that, is we did kind of look into that. And neighbors were asked from people that I trust to give me, the good information. And every person that had indicated that they spoke to a neighbor or asked them about a neighbor, including a neighbor that lived across the street, said they've never seen anything, her acting in any concert with any guy, let alone coming to her house. So that's the only, I mean, that's just from, I don't have, that's just the information I've received. I don't, I have no way of verifying it outside of it being people that I do trust that told me.
Yeah, because they posted his Facebook profile and page on the whatchamacallit too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, by posting a Facebook page, but I mean, did they have any photos of him and her together on that Facebook page or anything that kind of, because everything
No, because as soon as he was called out on the page, he actually took it down.
Okay, so yeah.
Which was kind of weird. But I remember his name, so it was kind of weird. And I went back and checked every now and again.
Do you mind giving me his name? I'll look into some stuff.
James Lyon, Lyon.
Okay.
He moved from San Jose, California to Tennessee. And they did a background check on him, and they looked on him, some people that live in Hendersonville. Mm-hmm. And they were talking about it on the group, the chat. So I was kind of curious about that.
Yeah, well, I'm glad you gave me his name. I will definitely look into it. So
And that night that Sebastian went missing, the neighbors were talking about how it's unordinary for her to have her garage light on. And they said that night that light was on almost all night long, off and on, off and on, off and on.
Yeah, when I first saw the light source video without, unobstructed, without any overlays or anything on, when I first saw that light, one of the lights, the first thing I said is, are we sure that's not a floodlight?
Yeah, because if you remember, Chris had said when he was asked on Nancy Grace, do they have lights on the house? Mm-hmm. And he says, yeah, we do, in the back, not the front.
Right.
So when I saw that too, and then I watched another person, they were doing some overlays on it and trying to figure out what it was and everything. and it actually does look like floodlights from their house, from the backyard.
It did, at least for that brief second. I saw it look like it came on and
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying? So I do think that there's more going on there, but I think law enforcement is limiting that from us so much because I truly believe we're in a criminal investigation, y'all. I don't care whether they've said it or not.
Did you see that the PI for Seth had requested information to file on the Sebastian Rogers case?
I know.
And the clerk said that they couldn't provide the information because it was a criminal investigation. Now, it was looked into more extensively, and that was actually a mistake, quote unquote, that it was a criminal investigation. Now, JLR did some more looking into the statutes on that as far as providing information, because he gets information all the time, he requests it and stuff. Well, it just so happens that the only way that they can't release information to you per Tennessee law is if it is a criminal investigation. So somebody's hiding something somewhere and they don't want it to come out.
Yeah.
That it is actually a criminal investigation.
I believe it's been a criminal investigation since February 26th or February 27th. That's when the endangered child alert came out. And then if that didn't get a criminal investigation, by the time that they released that Amber Alert, they were in criminal investigation mode.
Right. I have 6 grandkids, and I watch them every single day. And me and my daughter agreed that we would not let anybody watch them. Now, let me tell you this. If it was one of my kids missing and grandkids missing, I wouldn't be my ass in some other state with my husband or whatever. I tell my husband, you want to go, you go. I'm staying right here.
Amen.
And I'm going to look for him.
Amen.
And if you don't like that, then you just get on walking down the road, boy.
Yeah.
That's the way I feel about it, because this mom, she's lucky I don't live in Tennessee. I got relatives, but I don't live there, because I would be right out there searching, and if she ever came across my path, I'd have some words for her. Hell, they'd probably have to arrest me. But I just don't think it's okay what's going on. And I think that something happened, and she had did it. Chris is covering up for her, and the reason she acts the way she does is because he has this over her head. Now, come on, she's an ex-MMA fighter. She's ex-Navy, and she's going to act all shy and stuff.
Yeah, we're still getting some information on whether that's valid or not. We're digging, and I'm going to be going out there. I should be leaving sometime tomorrow to head out to Tennessee.
Sweet.
So.
Okay, sweetie, I love your channel.
Thank
it was
you.
nice talking to you. That's just stuff I threw out there. And if I come across anything else, I will definitely call you in and let you know.
I appreciate it. God bless.
But do check out JLR's thing, and you will see what he had said about this PI and the request for the information. It's on his channal. It was on this morning. All right. Love you, honey. Bye.
Love you too. Thank you. Bye-bye. I love it. Wow, the phones are just blowing up. This is Betty.
Hey, Betty.
Hello.
This is Linda Lou.
Well, hello, my beautiful Linda Lou. How are you doing?
I'm doing fine.
Oh, it's so sweet to hear your voice. You must have the lucky fingers. You seem to make it through.
I got your name in. I touch red dial all the time, trying to get through.
There you go.
People are saying that they believe somebody has just taken him away from the house, like Chris's parents or somebody. What is the reason of just taking him away? I mean, him being alive.
I know that's been always I never want to discredit or miss somebody's concern, but my question's always been, the why factor's not there. If they wanted to get rid of him, Seth was going to take him. If it was so that he couldn't, he couldn't go and be a witness in the lawsuit. He's got a disability that his mom could have prevented him through a court order from having to testify or be a part of that just by his disability alone. So those factors for me just they don't hold water for me.
No, I don't either, because Seth was wanting him. He was going to, after school was out this year, he was moving in with Seth.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't see that, or taking them to these camps, behavior camps and stuff like that. a mother wouldn't
not
let
only
her
that,
kid
but if they
leave
did
state with me not knowing where that child is going to be at.
Right, but Linda Lou, if they were going to take him to one of those camps and stuff, he's alive. They could just tell the officers, look, we sent him to the school. Go to the school. He's fine. I mean, we just put him in a school. We put him in a special school for his disabilities. You know, all they need to do is locate him and make sure he's safe. Once they make sure it's safe, he's gone. But the parents can't produce him.
Yes, I'm like Pebbles. I believe you can get alcohol at the Texas Roadhouse.
Mm-hmm.
And I believe she could have had some drinks there before she got home, and maybe Sebastian was just a little overactive since he'd been out all day, wired up, and maybe she wanted him to do something, and he didn't want to do it right then, and she probably just got her temper away from her.
Yeah.
And maybe pushed him or some way, and he could have hit his head on the wall or something, and then she realized what had happened, but I just don't believe they'd take him off because there's no clothes missing.
I don't even know.
Yeah.
Nobody can tell us, but I don't think law enforcement will tell us for a significant amount of time. But nobody's telling us whether they even collected the clothes he was wearing the night, because Katie has said that he changed clothes. So where's the original clothes?
Yeah, he was wanting to find out where the clothes was, and he was wearing at Texas Roadhouse to see if he did return back home that night.
Right.
And it was said that Chris said, well, we washed them. I said, still produce those clothes.
Why would they wash them if he disappeared the very next day? Like, I would leave everything where it was just in case.
And throw them in overnight to wash while I'm talking on the phone with Chris, you know.
Oh, you mean while she was studying for school, too, and reading a book while she was talking and washing clothes. Man, I wish I had the multitasking gifts Miss Katie Proudfoot has. You know, if I had those my house would probably be a lot cleaner than it is.
But you could tell in those, when she was interviewing, had the interview with Nancy Grace, her expression on her face, she looks like she was drained of everything. The way she looked, how she looked, her eyes, I mean, looked like she was under some kind of condemnation of what I had done and thinking, what have I done?
I don't understand why people just keep going. It's like at some point, just realize that the gig is up. I mean, why does it have to be so draining? Why don't you just realize you ain't getting away with this? Why make it more difficult on yourself?
Yeah, and leaving then and going out of Hendersonville and not there, I'd say I'm going to sit right here on the porch till he comes home, till I find out. I mean, if he's missing. But they said, why get out there and look for him? Why get into them searches when you know in your heart that he's not going to come back and he's not out there?
Yeah, and that's surely how they acted. And I really think that they know they absolutely have to know. So it just doesn't make any sense. It doesn't make any sense to me, Linda Lou.
Well, Betty, honey, I'll let you go. I thought I'd check with you, and you have a great day.
You
good
too.
weekend, too.
I
good
love
weekend.
You. Take care.
I love
God
you,
bless.
too, honey. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Our beautiful Linda Lou. Our beautiful, beautiful Linda Lou. God bless her. God bless her. I love her little spunk. I love her spunk. This is Betty.
Hi, Betty. It's Kristen from Michigan. How are you?
Well, hello, my beautiful Kristen from Michigan. How are you doing, love?
I'm blessed. This was my second time calling, and I've gotten right through, so I feel very blessed right now.
You and Linda Lou must have the magic touch.
I wish my magic touch could get Sebastian Rogers home. I haven't slept in 8 weeks or however long it is, 54 days, and of course it's not my baby, but I can't imagine what Katie is thinking at this point. Like the one lady said, it's a snowball effect, and it's just so big now where what's Do you think he's alive? Like, I want to ask her, like, do you really think he's alive? In the back of your mind.
Everybody, yeah. I hope, I pray to God we have a miracle, and I'm absolutely wrong. I absolutely hope to God that be the case. But if you're asking me for my personal opinion, no, I do not think this boy's alive at all.
And I don't either. And I was the one that has screamed from the rooftop. I think 15 days in, dead people don't need shoes. I went on every broadcast. I went on every show. I am the one that says dead people don't need shoes.
Yeah. And it's sad because you know what? I know that like Seth and his family and his side of the family that's been out here beating the pavement, that are super emotional about their missing loved one and that can't believe this is happening to them. These are the pieces of the family that my heart breaks for, because here they are. They've been out here searching and scratching their heads and pushing themselves to the end of the earth to try to find their son. Meanwhile, the people that were around and responsible for taking care of them sit and cowered out and be basement dwellers.
I agree, and I feel horrible even saying the most sinister things about this lady. Like, I'm with you. I would love to say, you know what, I was wrong. I was wrong, and I apologize. But the way my life goes, I'm not probably wrong, and if I could just get 20 minutes in a damn interrogation room, I bet you I probably could get it out of her.
Well, I can probably guarantee, I would say I could probably guarantee they don't want to see me, but if I did see them, I would walk up to him like this, and I'd talk to him and say, I want to know what happened. Would you guys be willing to talk to me? But, there's a piece of me that just wants to say, I mean, how effing dare you? Like, how dare you, lady? Like there's a piece of me that wants to listen to why, and there's a piece of me that just wants to condemn this woman. And I'm like, it's a give and a take, and I gotta tell you, it's hard to figure out what would you do.
Well, and that's the thing. I've tried to do it both ways, because I'm a new baby Christian, and you know how your heart is supposed to be lighter than anything when you get into heaven. So I've tried it. I've cried. I've cried to God. God, I'm so sorry for saying that about your child, about Katie Frog, but show us something that will let us see where he's at, because at the end of the day, Sebastian Rogers is still missing. At the end of the day, there is hearts out there that are crying and want to know what happened to this boy. And my theory is I believe in my heart, I'm with your other monitor, I believe that Katie Proudfoot did it. I believe she's another Susan Smith. I believe that Chris was her apple of her eye, and Sebastian kind of got pushed to the side. I believe that the case that was coming up is a big factor in why and what happened to him. There's always a motive, and maybe the motive is not money. Maybe the motive is just Chris.
Might be. Well, thank you so much for calling. I've got enough for one caller left after you, so thank you for calling in. Please use those magic thumbs to call back again.
All right, thank you.
God bless. Bye-bye.
God bless.
All right, the lucky caller. Let's see who lucky caller is, and I'm rooting for you. I see you back there trying your hardest to get through. I do see you. I'm rooting for you. Oh, it's not you. No. This is Betty.
Hey, Betty, I got it.
You got it.
Yeah.
You got it. Okay, you got it. So who's this, and where are you calling from, and what do you got?
This is Brenda, your buddy from Wisconsin.
Hi, Brenda. It's nice to see you. How are you doing, Love Bug?
How you doing, my love?
I am doing well.
I wanted to ask you, hon, have you heard, I was listening to another person, they said that Chris's, I think it's his uncle, has a farm in another part of Tennessee. Some part of it caught on fire. Have you heard about that?
No, I have not heard about that.
Yeah.
Where did you hear about this?
I was trying to think of which podcast it was that I was listening to.
Okay.
But they sure did say that. That his uncle owns some land. I'm thinking Memphis, but don't hold me to that, okay? But it's somewhere in Tennessee, owns some land, and it caught on fire.
Interesting. The only thing I heard that caught on fire was that landfill, the one landfill, but I didn't hear of anything else catching on fire. I'll have to look into that. Well, thank you, Brenda, and I hope let me just ask you this. Do you think he walked out of the house, or do you think something happened inside the house?
That baby didn't walk out of that house, honey.
Nah, I don't think
that baby didn't walk out of that house. I've cried, and I've prayed to God that he would get to come home to his daddy. I had a child that was born with a cleft lip and palate. And I held that baby through 99 surgeries growing up. She had her first one at 3 months old. And I can't imagine somebody having a child missing and leave it. I wouldn't even let my husband hit my kids. He went to hit Kathy because she didn't want to go to sleep one night. She's about 9 months old. I jumped up out of that bed and grabbed my child. I said, I gave birth to this child, not you. If you ever try to hit my child, I said, not only will you sleep, you will sleep permanently. And I meant what I said. You are never to touch my child. You didn't give her birth. I did. Yeah, you're her father. You're a big, strong man. Yeah. You could hurt her. She's got problems. Don't you ever touch my child. Yeah. None of them. He never touched my children. He knew I'd killed him.
Yeah, and I wish Katie would have stuck up for her son. It just seems like it's one of the two. That's all I know. It's one of the two. It doesn't matter which one it is, because as far as I'm concerned, they both acted in concert together. If not planned before, they definitely were working together after the fact. And you can't have one without the other.
I wasn't there, but I've heard several people say that Chris was not work that weekend. They said he was not at work that weekend.
I thought he came home.
They didn't work that weekend. I think he was home, Betty. I had from get-go think he was at home that night.
Yeah.
He may have not went anywhere with them. He may have stayed in the house. Or he may have been out hiding somewhere. Exactly. Because he knew what was going to go down. But I don't think he was in Memphis that weekend. I think he was at the house waiting on them.
Yeah.
I honestly do. And I haven't strayed from that.
You just brought up something. Hold on, Brenda. You just brought up something. Listen to this. And I said you just brought up something. Listen to this. So I was contemplating, because we've been talking a lot about, proof of life. And it's part of, the stuff with Jennifer Coffindaffer, talking about the proof of life stuff on her newest video that she just released 9 or 10 hours ago. And the proof of life that she said was from the video from the Texas Roadhouse. But listen to this. Remember, Seth only said he saw the video from outside, from the parking lot view. I don't know if they ever showed him the video from inside the restaurant. What was viewed on the inside of the restaurant? Because cameras were inside that restaurant. So why did nobody view the inside? What was contained on those inside cameras?
And they said that a cousin, she didn't say this in the beginning, but like the second or third interview, she brought in a cousin and a couple of heads that went with them. But yet you ain't heard that since, have you?
And
You
but
just
see,
heard
the
it that
only
one
thing,
time.
but see, the only thing Seth said was that it was just Katie and Sebastian that walked out of the restaurant. So where were the
Bingo.
two aunts and the cousin?
Like I said, baby. Like I said, she just mentioned that the first one time, and she has not mentioned it again.
Mm-hmm.
That's bullshit. There wasn't nobody there with them.
I love you, Brenda. You take care and God bless.
Hey, baby, I just call it like I see it.
We appreciate
It
that.
doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. A hen is a hen is a hen. You know, you can't get a rooster out of a hen.
Yep. Well, take care and God bless.
Love you, baby, and you have a good weekend, sweetheart.
Bye-bye.
And you be safe.
You too.
Hey,
Bye-bye.
get down there and find that baby.
I'm gonna at least clear some areas. I know that. I'm gonna be working my butt off, but I'm up for the challenge.
You save my number, baby, and if you need anything, give me a call.
You got it. God bless.
Bye, baby.
Bye-bye. All right, before I'm going to end this, there is one lucky caller that has just beat the pavement trying to get a hold of. I think I saw her number come up. I think it's a female. I don't know. But I saw this number pop in literally forever and ever. Just the one that just didn't give up, right? The one that didn't give up. And I was hoping that this caller would call, and so I'm going to turn all the volume off. I'm going to try to reach out. I don't want to dox anybody. So I'm going to try to reach out to this person and see if they'll pick up the phone, because it seemed like they were very eager to get some things off their chest. So just bear with me. Well, I tried. The lucky caller, I'm so sorry. Maybe another time, maybe you'll be able to get through to the Bullhorn Betty channel. But I did try to call you back. If your zip or area code started with a 205, I saw you calling in. Thank you for trying to call in. Danica, I saw you over here. It's nice to see you, love bug. But I did try to call you back. So God bless you for being a trooper and trying to call in here. I want to tell everybody that's here on YouTube as well as X, thank you so much for being here. I'm Bullhorn Betty, and we have been covering the Sebastian Rogers case, and we will continue to cover the Sebastian Rogers case, and we will continue to open up our phone lines to allow you guys to come over here and express your opinions, your viewpoints, your theories, and your speculation as we uncover this case. This case is not over with yet. There's definitely some changes in our law enforcement partners and our law enforcement social media creators. They are now coming out. They're now getting bitten from the stuff that we were bitten from months ago, or at least a month ago, right? We knew that this stunk to high heaven. I'm glad to start seeing some of the talking heads, the legal talking heads starting to come over to this side. I think they're realizing there's something seriously wrong here. And, now that they're on that mindset, now we can start hearing their experiences and their professional opinions about these aspects, ones that they weren't willing to give us before. I think they're now more receptive to start giving us a little bit of insight in their thought process and what they expect to hear, from here on out to come out, in the near future. So I'm going to be paying attention to the Jennifer Coffindaffers of Twitter and YouTube. I'm going to be listening to the Vinnie Politans, Twitter and YouTube. So, if you have not subbed up to them, please sub up to them. There's a lot of great people out there that I highly respect. Nancy Grace, that I highly, highly respect, and that do explain these things. And Emily Baker, another one. Emily Baker's another one. Katie and Chris are in chat. Is that true or is that not true? I don't see any Katie or Chris in my chat. So if Katie and Chris are in my chat and you guys want to come forward, I'm happy to have a conversation with you. I'd be surprised if you'd have a conversation with me. I don't bite, but if you... thanks, everyone. What is it, Harper's Day? Thanks, Betty. Take care, everyone. Katie and Chris. Harper, did I tell you late? I just wanted to say I love you. I love you. No, I don't see them in chat. I don't see why they would want to speak to me. I mean, I'll let them up here. I'll be respectful. If you guys know anything about me, when I'm looking at these, when people hide from me, I get a little butthurt, you know? When people want to come and be forthcoming, because I feel like I'm a very fair person. I'm a very pointed person. I've got a lot of questions for the Proudfoots. Their BS is not going to roll over here, but you know what? I can tell somebody you're full of crap and talk to them still respectfully, because I want them to explain these problems. You know what? I don't think they will talk to me, and I don't think they're going to explain these issues away, because I believe they lawyered up. I believe the minute that they shut their social media accounts down was with the moment that they got an attorney. Because the first thing an attorney's going to tell them to do is shut it down. Okay? And that's what happened. Both in the same day, just like that, everything's shut down. So this idea that they're not lawyered up, I don't believe it. I don't believe it. Law enforcement ain't talking to us. The last time we heard from them weeks ago, the family was still being cooperative, so to speak, whatever that means. How cooperative are they? Have they given you a good timeline? Have you corroborated their timeline? Can you just tell it? Like, I don't even need to know what's in the timeline, right? I'm not asking you for detailed information of the case, sheriff or TBI or whoever the hell's running this damn case. Just tell me this simple question. Do you have a legitimate timeline, and has that timeline been corroborated? Yes or frickin' no. Simple. I'm not asking for any detailed information. Nothing that's going to go to the integrity of the investigation. Just tell me if the damn timeline's there and if you have been able to corroborate their timeline. I don't want to know the information in their timeline. Has it been corroborated? That's all I care to know. We'll see if law enforcement gives us at least that much. But I highly doubt it. You want to know why? Because they're tight-lipped. Why? Because this is a criminal investigation. Now that we know. It's time to start teaching people how to think, not what to think. All right, God bless you, crazy animals here on YouTube and X. You have a wonderful evening. God bless. Tonight is Friday night, so I'm going to say, please arrive alive. If you're planning on drinking, have a designated driver or have a tow to go. Do not get behind the wheel of a car while you are intoxicated, okay? We say, go have fun, kids, but do it responsibly. God bless.
As you wake up in the morning, you want to find the latest, greatest information about criminal cases and have an intuitive conversation about the suspects associated with these cases. Head over to the Bullhorn Betty channel on YouTube. Get breaking news right here on the Bullhorn Betty channel. Welcome to the Bullhorn Betty Coffee Club. Enjoy your stay and enjoy your day.